How about it, boys? Welcome in More Important Issues, episode 314. Man, that's a lot. Just like Tennessee is putting up a lot of points right now, we're 2 0
2-0 in the last two games.
in the last two games. Yeah, 2 0. 2-game winning streak. The first winning streak. It's not really a winning streak if you win one game, right? You have to win two to make it a streak.
I'm going to agree, but I'm honestly not sure.
Well, we're on a winning streak, 2-game winning streak, heading into Ole Miss next week. But we're going to talk about that South Carolina game real quick. Let's get it.
Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back to Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, October 10th. The Vols continue to roll. Second half, we'll get into that, but another good showing.
We're having fun. I had a great time in the stadium today. And there's a common denominator here, and Caleb has not been at these last two games.
You weren't at the Missouri game though. So.
I know, but I was at this, so I was not the common denominator. You were.
Yeah, that's fair. Listen, I'd rather Tennessee lose with me than win without me. So I'll be there next Saturday for the Ole Miss game. Sorry, I'm selfish. It's just the way things are there. No, I mean, so I guess let me hit on that real quick. I know we'll talk about the game as a whole. How'd the second half feel?
Boring.
Did you get nervous?
I guess, like, when they scored that second time, I was just like, all right, let's do something, please.
Let's not let it get too close. Like, not too interesting.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think the outcome was in question, but if they were to score again, like, it wouldn't have looked like a blowout like it was in the first half.
Yeah, that's fair. What's funny is on Thursday when we previewed this game, I said if Tennessee gets out to another fast start, South Carolina's offense is nowhere near good enough to overcome a 28-3 first quarter deficit. I didn't know Tennessee would actually score 28 in the first quarter. South Carolina failed to score 3. That offense was terrible.
Yeah, they just struggle, and you can tell a team is struggling on offense when they have to run 3 trick plays in a game. Also, Shane Beamer called a timeout down 25 points with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it's a strange one.
I mean, he's a bum. He's a bum.
He is a bum. I saw some comments about his fake punt. I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't say the game was over. We saw South Carolina play. The game was over, but I wouldn't necessarily. If you're looking at it just objectively, then I guess it wasn't. Another thing, I will say this: in the second half, South Carolina, and this. I know I don't want to look ahead to Ole Miss because I know we're just recapping the South Carolina game, but it does worry me Tennessee's effectiveness against a quarterback that can get out of the pocket. In the first half, Doty was pretty much a statue, and they were able to get pressure all day. Second half, he did more with his feet, and he was more effective. Credit to South Carolina and him for that in the second half, and that's what anytime Tennessee plays a mobile quarterback. Can they contain him? Can they have – look at A&M. They're bringing guys from everywhere. So even if Bryce Young ever escapes the pocket, they're doing a good job of bringing pressure from everywhere. And that shows how important pass rush is, by the way, for teams that are lesser. If you can have an effective pass rush like that, it adds a whole nother element to the game. So I think South Carolina capitalized on that in the second half.
Yeah, I think there definitely is. Tennessee does a good job of making a quarterback step up, but they can never really get home.
Right.
Right. Or at least enough to my liking to be to make like a good quarterback, like A&M's doing right now to Bryce Young.
Right.
Like they're making his life hell. And I don't think Tennessee has enough off the edge to really say that. Now they did get home a couple times today. They got home a couple times last week, but just not enough to my liking.
Yeah, and they're doing it, and they're doing more of it. That is one thing. I saw some people say this. Like, I don't think it's being talked about enough how much this team's improved since week 1. So Absolutely. It isn't. I think it is improving each week, but it's definitely a threat that hopefully Tennessee can kind of get shored up soon here. Let's talk about let's look at the beginning of this game. I mean, first off, 3 and out again. I mean, Tennessee. I know we're talking about South Carolina's offense, but the last 2 weeks, Tennessee's done a great job of getting off the field. And they do it again to start the game. And then South Carolina kid, Jalen Hyatt, gets to open the scoring. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, especially when you kind of know his story a little bit of South Carolina didn't recruit him, at least at the start of his recruitment. Maybe toward the end they try to hop in there, but Tennessee offered him early, and that's where he ended up going. But it's really cool because Jalen Hyatt hasn't been a focal point of this offense up to this point. I don't really know the extent of what's going on, but they did get him involved today. His brother that is now at IMG was at Dutch Fork. Devin was in attendance on an unofficial visit. So to see him score a touchdown in Neyland, that's got to be big to see your big brother do that.
Yeah, and it was a cool moment. Good for him because, like you said, he's kind of been not getting a ton of targets. When he's had some chances, he's not quite capitalized. So good to see him get that moment today and against hometown team. That was nice to see. Tennessee gets out though. I mean, just again going back into how Josh Heupel and Alex Golesh script plays. I don't know how you could want more out of an offense coordinator so far. I don't know how.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we look like after that first quarter, I was talking to some guy in the stands, and I was like, I won't like say this like in a tweet because it'll come back to bite me. But like, are we good? Are we a good offense?
You texted me about it, and I was like,
I mean,
we'll see.
We look good.
We look good. No, we do.
And we look like a good football team. These past 2 weeks have been more fun than I had in Jeremy Pruitt's tenure, right?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, last week, you as far as just offense, talking about is your offense good? I mean, last week we know what you had playing one of the worst defenses, not just in the league, but in the country. I mean, this week again, not that South Carolina's one of the toughest defenses in the league, but they were a good match. Like that was a good test. And you still were able to go out, score 45 points. You had no trouble moving the ball in the first half. Second half changed a little bit, but you still were able to go score at one point. So, yeah, I told you, let's see how it plays out against better teams, and then we'll talk. But I'm definitely not willing to say we don't have a good offense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm loving this three-headed monster with Hendon Hooker, Tyon Evans, Velus Jones. It just seems like Tennessee's found their rhythm. It took them a couple games to get that, but I think getting Hendon Hooker comfortable just made everybody else feel a lot more comfortable within the offense.
Yeah, and I do want to hit on the Hendon Hooker thing real quick because I think a lot of people are using it as maybe a way to be like, we've seen from Hendon Hooker and what we saw from Joe Milton. How did Hendon Hooker not start from the get-go? And I think he should have. I'll say this: I think he should have at least been the guy quicker, like before Milton got injured. I will say that. But I mentioned this: when you have a guy like Hendon Hooker, who his biggest asset is his feet, his legs, you don't get to see the full capabilities in fall camp. He's got a red jersey on. The whistle's getting there early. You don't get to see what he can fully do. And we know still, especially when his first couple, drives, maybe even first 2 games, he didn't even impress you with his arm. Everyone was still saying, I don't know if he's better than Milton. Now he's progressed really and looked better than Milton. But as far as throwing, he was not head and shoulders above Milton. He probably wasn't even better than Milton when he first came in as the starter. So I will give Heupel a little bit of leeway there. It's tough to judge that mobile quarterback in camp. It is tough to judge him. So I'll give some leeway there as far as – and I think didn't Golish mention, we didn't know just how much of a dog he was because –
he doesn't get touched in practice.
Yeah, you can't. And so I think there's a little bit of leeway. I agree Heupel should have gone away from Milton earlier, but we're here now. At least he righted his wrong. He didn't ride out Milton.
Right. Yeah. If it's Hendon's job until something else happens. It's not like Joe Milton came back from injury and he started over Hooker. He stuck with the hot hand and he's had full control over this offense. And I think that's a big reason why Tennessee has won these past 2 games the way they did is because of Hendon Hooker. I don't know if I love him having 20 carries. I know some of that is not designed. It was just, him making a play with his legs, getting out of pressure and things like that. There was one play where it was Josh Dobbs made over.
You beat me to the tweet. You beat me to,
you were going to say the same thing?
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, it was bottled up, no way, oh, crap. Everybody's like, oh. And then he gets out of it and runs for a first down. I was like, Houdini Dobbs.
Yeah, and I meant to mention this last week too. I think it's my most important, and I had failed to. I loved Hooker's comments when you're talking about having a great teammate, great leader. They asked him about, should you be QB1, and he was like, that's not my decision. I play when I'm needed, and I
just ball.
And I go play. I don't know the exact quote, but that was along the lines. That's not my decision. I just do what I'm told and play. And that's a great teammate and a great leader to have. So I've been Tennessee got off to a not a terrible start, but not a great start when you're talking about Bowling Green. I think a lot of people were underwhelmed by the offense against Bowling Green. Pitt, obviously you lost. But since Pitt, and in your second half at Florida, it's all been great, right?
And
you should be grading the staff pretty high.
Yeah, a lot of people are probably down on the second half today, but when you look at it, they scored 13 points in the second half, and 7 of those were because of a fake punt. That that can't happen. Special teams got to be better. I don't know. Special teams got to be better. We just the guy blocking the gunner just stopped.
Well, so I was watching at a bar, and they had playing over the loudspeaker was I think the Ohio State game. So I couldn't hear. I assumed because both gunners are you had the gunner on the outside. I don't know if you call that a gunner, I guess, in punt formation, but the inside guy both stopped. I thought a whistle got blown. I was expecting the play to be called dead the way they stopped.
Yeah, it was very strange. I don't know what he saw. I don't know if he just saw the hand and he went running the other way. I have no clue what he saw, but yeah, it was
it didn't even make sense if you thought they were punting to do what they did.
Right, and I don't know. It was just the punter had to make a freaking 40-yard throw in the air, and he had to time it right where the gunner's off of him, and the returner can't get to him. So it was just whatever.
No.
Yeah,
but that's a good point though. There was some. It's not like South Carolina just completely dominated. Someone did get mad at me for saying that Tennessee had some second half struggles. That was just a fact when I tweeted that. It was late in the fourth quarter, middle fourth quarter. Tennessee had gained 60 yards total. That's gained. I don't know what because I mean there were a lot of negative plays in the second half.
Yeah, the total was 99 yards in the second half.
So, and I tweeted that 60 yard that we had gained before we scored our touchdown. They had gained 60 yards and were outscored 13-0. And when you put the 13 like that, that definitely makes it better. It doesn't sound as bad, but I mean, when you're talking about when you play better teams, you can't have those second half struggles.
Right. Yeah, you can't. And, Tennessee was missing some guys today, rested some guys. So it kind of felt like, it felt like we were supposed to win big. When you're resting guys, just to rest them.
At the end of
they're not 100%. When, I don't feel like we're at that point, but it feels good that maybe the coaches feel like, hey, we should beat this team by 20 points. Let's rest Jabari Small. Let's rest Cooper Mays. Theo Jackson isn't going. Danico Slaughter, I think he was actually hurt. Christian Charles was another guy. Kingston Harris. So we're missing some quality guys, quality starters, and it just felt good. Like it felt.
Oh, it did. At the end of the day, like you said, Tennessee was supposed to win big, and they did win big. Like at the end of the day, they doubled up on their spread. So what Vegas?
Right? Yeah, it was a 10-point game, even though we were up 28-0.
Yeah.
At one point, and 38-7, I think at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
You won by 25. I mean, there's not a lot you can really.
No,
special teams maybe got to be better. I think that there wasn't enough on a punt return or a punt. And then did Alabama just score? Did they block a punt?
It looks like it. I don't know what happened, but it looks like they scored.
Special teams got to be better. They had that, and then they had obviously the fake punt go against them. They had a kick return last week, so that's got to be cleaned up. Mike Eckler's got to get that hot chili going with the special teams unit. But I'm really liking the defense. Continues to surprise me. Brandon Turnage, I thought was played really well. You haven't seen a ton of him, but with Danico Slaughter out and Theo Jackson, he was the next guy in line, led the team in tackles, had a couple of tackles for loss. I thought he didn't look lost at all. No. He didn't look like a guy you haven't seen a ton of this season.
Right. No, I like you said, continue to be impressed with the defense. The run game just, I feel like, gets better. I don't know if it could get better from last week, but offensive line opening a lot of holes. Tylan Evans ran the ball well. Laneith Whitehead, when he came into the game, I thought he ran the ball well. Obviously, Hendon Hooker, he kind of just, I don't know if you can call it a run game. He just kind of makes things happen with his feet. But the team continues to get better, continues to impress. At the end of the day, you won by 25. It's hard. It's hard to find things to complain about. It's hard. And it feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to get healthy, though. You do got. If I'm going to complain about anything, you got to get healthy.
Yeah, got to get healthy. Tylan Evans got hurt, didn't go back in the game. I think Heupel said after that they just kept him out, like he could have went back in. So that's a good sign. And he wasn't limping or anything. He went down and held his knee, and you're like, oh my god.
But it kind of looked like ankle during evaluation, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but he held his knee. Is that when he went down, he maybe he reached for his ankle and maybe he grabbed his knee? I don't know.
He definitely, he reached for his leg. I don't know where he was going for, but it looked like they were evaluating ankle. And he did kind of limp off the field. He had a little hitch in his step. And I don't know if that means, but obviously you don't want to lose him, especially since Jabari Small's been he's been out more than he's been in this year due to injury.
Yep.
And you mentioned it. Next week you're going to have to score a lot of points.
Which I think that's possible. I don't think Arkansas has a very good offense, and they were able to score 50 points on this Ole Miss team. So defensively, I don't feel great because I think Ole Miss has a really good offense. They have a really good quarterback that can move, and that makes me nervous. But defensively, they're butter. They are butt.
Yep.
They should have easily covered that spread today, and they look like garbage. They let Arkansas, who is basically a Big Ten team with the way they run their offense, they just cram it down your throat. And had a touchdown lead with 1:07 left and should have got
Yeah.
beat probably.
And if I'm Arkansas, I hate to. Last thing, if we need anything else for South Carolina, we can discuss it before we kind of talk college football. But if that's your best 2-point play, you kick the field goal or the PAT, excuse me.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Also, Butch Jones on Thursday night, you cost me potentially a lot of money. And I did hit, but I put in another bet for 72.5. If that's one of your 3 best 2-point conversion plays, just kick the PAT.
He's so
Did you
bad.
see his?
Yeah, he's so bad. I mean, they're horrible.
Did you see the PA or the 2-point conversion attempt though?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's breaking up. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't even watch Thursday night NFL football. I was like, I'm good. There's college football on.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's so weird. Like people from like up north, like do not watch college football. It's so weird. Like they would way rather watch NFL over college football. That makes no sense to me.
Well, there's a lot of people that are like that. I mean, and they say the quality of football is better. I mean, again, won't argue that. They're professionals.
Right.
They're there for a reason. But the weirdness, I mean, you're never going to get A&M up 24-17 on Alabama. They're about to score again. I know you guys are confused because you're watching this live.
A&M's about to score again?
31-17, Texas A&M over Alabama. You don't get that in the NFL. Like, come on. Like, this is awesome.
How far behind am I?
Are you on Hulu TV?
Yeah.
No big deal. I got cable here.
It's 31-17?
Yeah, Alabama scored, and then A&M went down and scored. I think
How quick did they score?
I think they scored on the kickoff.
Oh, they ran the kickoff back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, if I bet on Alabama, if I'm going to lose money, at least let them lose the game.
Oh,
that's
well,
hilarious.
That's what I think it was Barrett Salia was tweeting. He's like, I bet on Alabama, something like I don't hate them. And I was like, that may tell me that you do hate them. Like, I kind of think I'm going to bet on Bama forever. So when they win, at least I win some money too. It's not just heartbreak.
God.
It's been do you have anything else for that? Well, let me ask you this about South Carolina game. Whether you have anything else you want to hit on. Who were the guys you mentioned, like Brandon Turnage impressing you? Was there anyone else that maybe hadn't? You mentioned Velus Jones Jr. continuing to stand out. Also, they continue to use him in a variety of ways. Anyone else that maybe stood out this week or had a good game that maybe their first time kind of hitting that radar for you?
I think I mentioned this before, but I've been super impressed with our linebackers. Aaron Beasley and Jeremy Banks. Jeremy Banks had 1.5 sacks, 8 tackles. Aaron Beasley had 9 tackles and a fumble recovery. Coming in, I thought that was going to be a struggle for Tennessee, and maybe in pass coverage, maybe it could be a little better. But I don't think they're just the weakest part of this team like I thought they would be.
Yeah, no, maybe the weakest part of the defense, but that feels like it's because your other 2 units have played really good too.
Well, it just feels like it's the entire like it's all in one, and that's weird to say, but like it really does. It feels like if one group is struggling, it feels like everybody's struggling. If one group's playing well, it feels like everybody's playing well. So that's good to see because I don't know. It just felt like with Jeremy Pruitt, I know he's a defensive guy, but it just felt too complicated, I guess, at times. And I don't know if simplicity just ruled with this group, but it seems to be working for Tim Banks.
Yeah, I don't know what complicated things for Tennessee under Jeremy Pruitt, but whatever it was ineffective. And like you said, it's working now with whatever's happening. Tennessee secondary kind of continues to. I mean, got to complete some interceptions.
Cola's got 3 interceptions.
Yeah, you got to complete some though. I mean, Alontae Taylor made a really good play to get a pass breakup, inches away from being a pick 6. Inches, but he did make a good play on it. He made a really, really good break on that ball, and
it was probably just out of his reach. Like it definitely like hit his fingertips, but it definitely wasn't one that like, oh, you should have caught that.
Right. No,
give me 10 push-ups.
Agree with that. But it's like so freaking close to being a pick six. And he probably was beat, quote unquote, on that play and made a really good play to get the pass.
Oh yeah, that was a hell of a break.
Yeah, so I'm not knocking that one at all. It's just so close. And then he did have one that I know it was a weird ball over the middle. I can't remember exactly what transpired that he should have caught. And so they're like, again, Tennessee secondary has chances to make interceptions. And I told you through the first two games, I was like, I think it's gonna happen. They're there. They just got to complete.
They had to get that one first.
Yeah. So they're there, and I mean, I have faith that the defense is going to continue to get better because Jerry Banks I think he's improved every game this season.
Jalen McCullough leading the team in interceptions. Who would have had that?
Wouldn't have guessed that one. He also got gifted that one today. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, but out of the 5 DBs, I think I would have had him 5th in interceptions.
Yeah, fair, very fair. That's really all I got for the South Carolina game. Other than, I mean, I am.
Hey, my props are working, man.
There you go. Also, I told you I am. I didn't do a score prediction at all the last 2 weeks. So next week,
nope, just don't touch it.
Not doing it.
I was super close.
Were you?
I did 38-20.
Oh, nice.
So like in that fourth quarter when it was just,
you were like,
I'm like, if we just don't score, but I need them to score because
put it away. You need it to be put away.
25 is a lot better than 18. You got to get
Agreed.
Over 20. Like, oh man, they killed South Carolina. Oh, they only lost. They only beat them by 18.
100%. We got more points.
Yeah, Javonte Payton. He gets one catch, one touchdown a game.
One. He's going to get one target. He's going to score on that target.
Yeah,
he's going to get one target. That's another thing. Tennessee being able to hit the deep balls is nice.
Texas A&M to score again.
I don't know, but Nebraska's up 20. No. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Nebraska's up 22-19.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah. So that's good.
That's not good.
Oh, I know. That was sarcasm.
Oh.
It looks like Alabama's about to score again. Nah, they're never mind. What a great weekend in college football. This was awesome. Like, this was a ton of fun. I know it didn't result in a lot of great, but Maryland being up 3-0 on Ohio State, that was fun. I got a kick out of that.
Did you like the black jerseys on TV? Did it look good?
It looked okay. It didn't look great. It didn't look bad.
I thought they looked good in person.
Now, was our training staff wearing navy blue pants? Or were they black pants?
I don't know. I couldn't.
Whatever they were wearing didn't look good on TV because I couldn't tell which one it was. And I think someone at the bar even asked me if we were wearing blue today because it did almost kind of look navy blue on TV.
Jumbotron looked almost gold, like the orange did with the black.
Yeah, no, the orange definitely looks like a different color on the black. It does.
Yeah, so
it
looked almost Missouri-esque.
Yeah, the helmet looked fantastic on TV. I mean, really obviously you couldn't see it, except for like close-up shots, really, but it looked good when you got that look at it. So, oh man,
something about the black jersey, right? Or are we gonna have orange breeches than black uniforms?
Do we go creamsicles this week?
Nice. Did you see what Lane Kiffin said something? That's exactly why we did not wear them for Ole Miss.
Oh, Tennessee made the right decision in that. I mean, I know it sucks that like Ole Miss would have been the night game. Probably the more hyped up game of the two, but with Lane Kiffin being there, yeah, I agree.
If you haven't seen it, Lane Kiffin said it was lights out, dark mode, dub. He said, "Great idea, wearing them again next." Congrats on the win. It's like,
yeah, that dude sucks.
I wish he was such a good coach, and I wish he was like unlikable. Like Nick Saban, he's just an ass. Like his sideline interview is the worst.
Dude, I get it. Some of the questions are dumb, but for example, the explosion he had when they were asking about starting quarterbacks, he's like, "I'm not going to tell you, so quit asking." It's like, dude, why are you such an ass? And then this one, he's like, "Well, you don't call a timeout with under a minute." It goes into a freaking just. He has a stroke over a question about timeouts. I'm like, you're going to go in. It
didn't make sense. Whatever he said did not make sense.
I think he kind of just rambled. I think his whole point was just I'm not going to call a timeout there. Here's some other words surrounding that argument. They don't necessarily make sense, but they're there. Well, it's just are you, if Bryce Young throws an interception, are you not going to go ask him what he was looking at or thinking?
Right.
I feel like that's a stupid question.
Yeah, that girl was just
trying to throw it to the defender.
Do you not want the ball back?
I think
you have some of the great some of the best
31-24
recruits in the nation on your team. You don't want
to
give them the ball with a minute left.
Yeah, it's
see what happens.
It's
because
hilarious.
You can't, because Bryce Young wins the Heisman, I'm going to lose my mind. All he does, he made a good throw on that one. I'll give him that. But 95% of their offense is a check down to their freaking monster running back.
Yeah, I was about to say to Robinson. Yep. There's good games happening right now. Virginia Tech, Notre Dame is 21-22. Michigan, Nebraska is 19-22. I don't know what the Kentucky game looks like. Utah is up big on USC, 35-10.
Ugh.
Michigan State covered. I know that was kind of a big debate this week on whether they would or not.
Kentucky's up 35-14.
Nice. Wake Forest didn't cover, but they won. I hate them.
That was terrible. Did you watch that?
I didn't. I kept up with the game. I didn't watch it. I kept up because my money was on the line. Oh. Good week college football, though. I'm excited for UCLA and Arizona tonight. UCLA, I've got UCLA I've got UCLA on complete, I don't know if fraud alert's the right word, but
fraud alert?
Because they can score. But last week they played a good team finally, and they only scored 23 points. So it's what happens? They also lost to Fresno State, but that game was insane. That was an insane game.
Yeah.
The quarterback couldn't walk and he won. Jesus himself won that ball game for Fresno State. No, nobody was going to beat them that night.
Iowa is 6-0 and the number 3 team in the country, and they scored 23 points. What's their average?
That was not a good game.
That was Colorado State by 10.
That was 2 teams trying to lose it. Iowa and State.
That was ugly.
Which you knew it was going to be in Iowa City. There's no such thing.
I think the under was 43.5, so it barely hit.
Nice. Yeah, that was a weird game. I don't know if you want to hit on anything else for college football. Tennessee will take on Ole Miss though on Saturday. We will be back tailgating, back in town, ready to go.
What time are you trying to get there?
Oh,
I had a lot of people ask me today.
Oh yeah, gate's open. Emily was like, "You're gonna get there that early?" I was like, "Hell yeah, we are."
I was thinking 9, but yeah, 8's fine with me.
Well, I guess really when do the gates open? Is what I need to know.
That's fair.
Because they may not open until 9. They may not open until 10.
10. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking 9 or 10 is probably. No one's gonna be there, and probably it's gonna be me and you whenever we get there until at least 10 o'clock.
It's at the tailgate or in the lot?
Yeah. At the tailgate.
Yeah, I was going to say the lot's usually us and 5 other cars.
Right.
So, yeah, no, I agree. Which I told Emily, I was like, I'm not really going down there that early to necessarily start tailgating. I'm saving our spot, and then by virtue of where I'm at, I start tailgating. That's just that's the way the world works.
That works. So,
yeah. I'm not gonna not sit in a parking lot and I'm not gonna sit in a parking lot and not drink a beer. Come on, it's America.
100%.
Golly, I'm excited for this week. It's
finally not a noon game.
It's finally not a noon game.
Or on a Thursday.
I really Tennessee impressed me against Missouri, and I thought Tennessee did a lot of things well. So it wasn't a fluke. I didn't think it was a fluke, but I knew South Carolina had a better defense, and we just, Tennessee's not proven itself to be a really good football team right now. And really good football teams, teams that aren't really good football teams can't really go out week to week and do what Tennessee's done the last 2 weeks. Now, I'm not saying Tennessee's a really good football team right now. Let's see them do it 3 weeks in a row. Let's see them put together the rest of the season.
4 and then 5.
Exactly. But Tennessee, so Josh Heupel, the easiest way to keep this fan base on your side, win the games you're supposed to win, be in the games you're supposed to be in, be in the games you're supposed to lose, and then let the games that are toss-ups take care of themselves. Obviously, in the long run, you have to win a bunch of those. But that's just the nature of the business. But if you want to be around for a long time, if you want Tennessee fans to be on your side, if you want to recruit well, you have to win the games you're supposed to win first and foremost. Because if you do the other two things and lose the games you're supposed to win, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and keep recruiting, please.
Please keep recruiting.
It was a big recruiting weekend this week as well. You had some official visitors, Joshua Joseph, Davison, last name starts with an I. Haven't learned that one yet, but he just decommitted from Rutgers, 4-star cornerback, and then 4-star edge rusher, Joshua Josephs, and then 3-star offensive lineman commit Brian Grant was also on his official visit. And then a ton of the Lipscomb Academy underclassmen were here because they played a Catholic last night. So, yeah, some big-time recruits in this week. I think there'll be more next week. The Georgia game, I'm sure we'll have a ton. I think there's a kid from Powell that's pretty big that's supposed to be there too.
Who?
You know. A big W.
Yeah, no, Tennessee's got, obviously recruiting. But if you win, that kind of stuff is really going to take care of itself. That's another thing. One guy's is a moron that's talking about it. But everybody's always been like, coaches want this Tennessee job because Tennessee recruits itself. Well, if Tennessee's winning, then Tennessee's going to recruit itself. So why does Tennessee need a world-class recruiter? Also, your head coach isn't your biggest recruiter. He's got to be good at it. He's got to be good, but his assistants are the ones that got to really be good. They're the ones on the road. They're the ones on the phones.
They're the position coaches.
Yeah.
They're going to see him more than the head coach.
Yeah. The head coach, again, he's got to be good at it. He's got to be involved. But the people that have to really be good at it are the assistants.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. He just got to win football games. That's his biggest recruiting pitch.
The head coach has got to win football games. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
We talked about it. Tennessee 6-6 right now. Is that where you got it? You got them picking up another win somewhere.
I think 6-6 is safe. Next week could be. I'm not calling for a win, but I think it is. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I think Ole Miss is a beatable team. I think Kentucky's a beatable team.
I agree with that. The most fun part about the remainder of the games, obviously other than South Alabama and Vandy, who I'm counting as wins, and that feels okay to do, it's all gravy from here on out. It's all gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Just go have fun and go win. Don't think – if you're the team, you're going to be an underdog in every other game besides in the next 4 games. I can't count. In the next 4 games, you're going to be an underdog. Just go out and play. Nothing to it.
Yeah, be competitive, score some points.
Yeah, you're not supposed to win. Go out and just play football.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything else? Yeah, you got it for.
That's all I got. Protect your quarterback. 6 sacks is not great. Can't be giving that up.
Hooker's got to move around a little bit more too sometimes.
He does.
He gets stuck a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does get stuck in the pocket. Step up, get out of there. If it's not there, or get rid of it. Check down, something.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 sacks, that's got to get fixed because Georgia will get after you if you don't change something up quickly.
Yes.
So yeah, that's probably the last thing I got on that South Carolina game. Good win. Glad to have it. Next weekend's going to be it's going to be packed. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. Whole day of tailgating. I can't wait. Looking forward to it. Guys, we will see you back on Thursday, possibly. Well, me and Caleb
Maybe-
are both on vacation, so we're
There
going
may
to
be
figure
a
that out.
yeah, there may be a show. You may not see us, but there may be a show. Stay
Right.
tuned.
Yeah, but that's all we got. Balls are 2-0 in the past 2 games. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.